Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Woman charged for Portland double murder. Detectives assigned to the Major Investigations Division MID had charged a woman for the May 24 double murder of a man and a woman along Campbell Avenue in Port Antonio, Portland. She is Jodian Jackson, a 28-year-old bar operator and nail technician of Anchoviland Settlement in Portland. She was charged in relation to the deaths of 28-year-old Shade Pink of Campbell Avenue, 23-year-old Keno James King of Johnstown District, both in the parish. Reports from the Portland police are that about 11 p.m., both victims were among a group of persons playing domino when Jackson drove a Toyota Fila motor car to the area. One man exited and opened gunfire at them. When the shooting subsided, Pinky, who was in an advanced stage of pregnancy, and James were seen suffering from gunshot wounds. They were assisted to hospital where they were pronounced dead. An investigation was launched and Jackson was taken into custody. She was subsequently charged on Monday, May 29. Jamaican husband of dead Canadian woman charged, more serious charge pending. Police have charged the husband of Cheddar Pardin Whitehead, the Canadian who died while visiting the island earlier this month. Rory Palmer, a 28-year-old fisherman from Shearers Heights in Portland Cottage, Clarendon, was charged with causing grievous bodily harm with intent. Palmer is to appear in the Clarendon Parish Court in Maypen on Thursday, June 1. Whitehead, a 28-year-old school board employee from Toronto, Canada, died on May 13 after she reportedly came to visit Palmer in the Shearers Heights community to celebrate their wedding anniversary. A preliminary autopsy result indicated that Whitehead died from a blunt force injury to the head. We are still awaiting the toxicology result to determine if he will be charged for the homicide, Superintendent Carlos Russell, head of the Clarendon Division, told reporters. Whitehead reportedly arrived on the island 2 weeks before her death. Police reported that the day before she died, she and her husband had a dispute which got physical. It is alleged that a fan was thrown at the Canadian and her head slammed into a wall. Whitehead reportedly left the home and went to stay at her friend's house in the same community. While there, her friend reportedly advised her to visit the hospital. However, Whitehead expressed that she did not wish to go and refused to report the incident to the police. Police said while at home, Whitehead went to sleep sometime after 3 p.m. and her friends observed that her head was swollen and tried to convince her to visit the doctor, but she refused. Further reports indicated that around 5:30 p.m., the friends returned home and discovered Whitehead lying in the same position they left her. They realized she was not moving and reported the matter to the Lioneltown police station. The police responded and saw Whitehead's lifeless body lying face down on the bed. She was clad in a white t-shirt and blue short jeans pants. Swelling was observed on the face and neck, and she had what appeared to be blood stain on her hand. The body was transported to the Lioneltown Hospital where it was confirmed dead. Acting Deputy Commissioner of Corrections missing. The police and the Department of Correctional Services DCS are reporting that Reverend Orville Moore, Acting Deputy Commissioner at the DCS, is missing. Moore is responsible for rehabilitation and probation aftercare services at the DCS. It is reported that Moore was last seen leaving a relative's home off Moorlines Road in St. Andrew on Monday morning. He was reportedly driving a silver Frontero, license plate 1626JN. All efforts to locate Moore since Monday have failed. The police and DCS have posted a photograph of Moore on their social media platforms. Persons who have seen Moore are asked to contact the police at 119 or DCS at 922-0021. 6 listed as persons of interest in Kingston Western Division. The Kingston West Police have identified 6 men as persons of interest in relation to recent murders and shootings in the division. They are Demaria Bailey, otherwise called Ray Ray of Tivoli Gardens, Kingston 14. A man known only as Jingo, also of Tivoli Gardens, Kingston 14. Andre Barracks, otherwise called Bombs, of Zimbabwe in Arnett Garden, Kingston. A man known only as Jaggy, also of Zimbabwe in Arnett Garden, Kingston 14. Carlington Lawrence, otherwise called Dumpling, and a man known only as Slim. All 6 men are being asked to report to the Denham Town Criminal Investigations Branch by 6 p.m. on Wednesday, May 31, 2023. Additionally, anyone with information about the whereabouts of these men is being asked to call the Denham Town CIB at 876-948-69 6443 or Crime Stop at 311. Clark defends government stance on Jamaica. Minister of Finance and Public Service Dr. Nigel Clark is insisting that it would not have been economically viable for the government to take over all operations of bauxite and alumina company Jamaica after the previous majority stakeholder, Noble Holding, sold its 55% shares in the company for $1 after it ran into financial difficulties. Clark, who was responding to questions raised by opposition spokesman on energy and mining Philip Powell during the sitting of the House of Representatives on Tuesday, noted that while the government contemplated full investment in the company instead of its 45% stake, it would have been risky to do so. We would have looked at that as a possibility, however, with the vision that we have for this asset, for its long-term viability, it is necessary to make capital investment that will be required to get there. The government's view would have been that if we can't find someone who is willing to make that investment alongside us, it's less risk for the people of Jamaica, meaning to make 45% of that investment instead of 100. If we had infinite resources, then the decision may have been different, he said. Jamaica's powerhouse was extensively damaged by a fire in August 2021, which led to the closure of the facility and loss of production during September 2021 to July 2022. Clark said that given the fact that it would take resources to improve the plant's operations, we've good for over 45%, noting that the government took a decision in getting a better partner who can bring international expertise, know-how, and the capital required to put it on a long-term sustainable footing. He said that with the new major holder, United States-based Central Alumina Company, the plant is not simply not to restore to the plant to where it was prior to the fire, but to go a little bit further to put Jamaica in a position that it can be in the upper half, top 2 qualities in terms of efficiency for the production of alumina. To get there will require some investment for us to be able to improve operational efficiency that surpasses where it was at the time of the fire, he said. He argued that given Jamaica's financial options, the country is much better off having a partner in the financial position to be able to make those investments alongside us, rather than being in a position where the government has to make the entirety of investment required to get to that position. Powell, however, pressed the minister, querying if it would not have been wiser for the government to match the price or put 50% on it to take over the full operations of Jamaica for $1.50. I would buy the argument only that the announcement by the new partner, Century, is that it will take them an investment of $20 million to secure a positive cash flow this year. Would that have not been a better consideration for the government to take it on the additional cost and at the end of the day see a positive cash flow running and then make the attractiveness of the incorporated status? That would be much better, he questioned. Clark reiterated that it is a question of risk and return, arguing that the government of Jamaica should not have been in that business in the first place. So to double down and go from 45% ownership to 100%, if it did not require additional investment, if it were the case that you could acquire it and get it to that enhanced state of efficiency without any additional capital, so there's no sort of additional risk, it would maybe be a no-brainer to do so, as you are certain of intimidating. But given the fact that it would absorb more capital to do so, the government of Jamaica, the people of Jamaica are in a better position to share the risk and the reward by maintaining our position at 45% and having sit alongside us, a multinational enterprise that has experience in Jamaica, has operated in Jamaica before, has integrated facilities, and with whom we are very aligned as to the strategic direction of Jamaica, he stated. In the meantime, Clark said that the plant would have been undergoing repairs, is currently operating at 80% of its capacity. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell